Hi, I'm Luke Williams from AI Today, bringing you all the latest news and biggest industry stories from the world of AI. I'm joined today by Shannon Kehoe, Head of Innovation at QuantPi. We're going to be discussing AI testing, AI governance, and the state of the enterprise AI market. But before that, I just wanted to say thanks for joining us, Shannon. We do really appreciate it. And could you tell us a little bit about yourself and your role at QuantPi?
Happy to. Happy to be here today. Thanks for the invitation. Luke, as you said, I'm Shannon Kehoe from QuantPi, Head of Innovation. My role at QuantPi is to help make sure that our researchers are able to stay at the cutting edge and continue to move research out of kind of the lab and into production and into our products as quickly as possible.
Okay, so my understanding of QuantPi is that it integrates AI testing with governance. What critical governance gaps do you most commonly see organizations struggling with, and how does the QuantPi platform address them?
Right. So QuantPi is a company and a technology that enables, AI deployers to scale their different AI solutions quickly and easily. Right. So decreasing time to production. One of the biggest things that we've seen is that a lack of trust between kind of the technology expert teams, the data scientists, and the AI governance teams, which could be compliance, it could be legal, it could be the business side. There tends to be a lack of trust because there's a lack of understanding on each side and what they're doing. And one of the ways to solve that is through extensive testing. And so actually by adding this testing, we enable teams to speed up or to increase the speed with which they deploy to production, which of course then increases the company's value and money saved.
Okay. Can you share a specific example where an example of improved AI governance actually helped a company avoid a potential pitfall or created unexpected business value, something from the real world that you've worked on?
Absolutely. So Konux is a predictive maintenance company. So they do a lot of predictive maintenance for railways, and they don't even charge customers if their accuracy isn't above 90%. So if the model can't predict with 90% or higher accuracy, it's basically free of charge. So they were having some edge cases, essentially, that the data scientists didn't get time to address. They couldn't charge for these edge cases, but by the same token, if Konux could solve these edge cases, right, particular areas of the railway system, there's real value there. What did they do? We worked with them and using QuantPi's platform to kind of bridge this gap between the business, where is the money being spent, compliance, what am I legally or regulatorily allowed to do, and the data scientists, where is the issue in the data? They use QuantPi's testing solution to find the flaws in the data set or in the model, rectify them, and then deploy quickly to production. Without QuantPi's testing solution, they would not have had the capacity to do that or the expertise necessarily.
Okay. And just out of interest, what does that project look like? Do you have a pre-sales team that goes on site to work that project out? Is it all done remotely? Are you selling a software? Just for someone that obviously hasn't worked with QuantPi, just give me a kind of day-to-day on what that actually looks like on the ground.
Absolutely. So we take kind of a use case approach. So what does this mean? This means that you have a model and you want to use it in the following different ways, right? So you can upload your data set, feed it to the model, come out with a set of predictions, and then our black box testing solution. So what that means is we don't really care whether it's generative AI, classic machine learning, agentic AI. You can send all of it to us, send us your data set, and then our platform will automatically calculate a slew of different metrics and display them in a dashboard. And that dashboard has different summaries telling you immediately where are the strengths and weaknesses in the model. And it also allows you to dive a little bit deeper, showing you specific data points that your model doesn't handle well.
Okay. And is it mainly enterprise level clients that you work with, or SMEs, even some startups? Or?
We do work closely with some of the big players in the tech industry, some large enterprises, but we also have startups. We also work closely with startups. Again, the startups are trying to scale their business, and so they especially actually want to see where the model may fall down before it goes to production. They actually have less trust with their customers because they're so new than some of these big players. But of course, the big players then they're the ones that end up in the news when something goes wrong. So both are interested, and we work with both.
Okay, really interesting. Okay, just now thinking more broadly, let's say looking 3 to 5 years ahead, what developments in AI technology or AI adoption do you personally find the most exciting or even concerning, um, in general and from a governance perspective?
So one, I think you're going to see the models become smaller. They'll stay as efficient as they are. They'll actually get better, but the amount of data, the amount of compute power, processing power that they need to be effective will shrink. A good comparison would be like, back in the early 2000s when the first USB stick or the first portable hard drive or something was coming out, and it was really big. I mean, it was like a big A4 notebook or something like that. And then nowadays it's the size of literally a thumbnail, right? So you can think of it kind of in a similar way. That's kind of the progression that I expect in the next few years. And additionally, I think you'll see, because of this reduction in compute cost, you'll also see an increase in the number of agents that are being built, and those agents will become truly autonomous. So right now, a lot of the agents we're seeing, so when you think of an agent, it's usually deployed customer service, and the customer service agent will have, the automated agent will have their decision reviewed by humans still. Could be. In banking, agentic decisions are still reviewed by humans. But I think you'll start to see that go away as trust is built, again, through technologies like QuantPi, where we're more and more sure about how these technologies are working and how these agents are working. So instead of the heavy augmentation, you'll see truly agentic automation.
Is your sense of it that it will create new jobs, or will it just cause jobs to be erased, or to not exist anymore, for want of a better term?
I mean, this has historically happened. Some jobs will go away. That happened with robots, right? Robots building cars. There aren't as many humans putting the cars together as there were, a century ago. But by the same token, new jobs were created. Somebody has to maintain the robots, right? And I see a similar thing happening here. I don't necessarily need an essay writer. A lot of essays are nowadays being written by bots and then edited by humans. Mm-hmm. But somebody still needs to know how to write a prompt to get the best essay out of the bot. So it'll be a lot more learning how to work with the agents, I think.
Okay. And how was your experience working across both engineering and business roles? I did have a look at your LinkedIn. How has that shaped your perspective on effective AI governance?
AI governance does not work without testing. Mm-hmm. You can't understand. So even the data scientists sometimes will treat these really complicated models as black boxes. They understand what to put in. They understand what comes out. They understand how to measure if the model, if the black box is effective or not. But they don't know how to describe that to a non-technical audience. And they don't necessarily know how to reassure with words a non-technical or less technical audience. And that's where the testing comes in. These numbers are much more easily understood. Robustness, fairness, the way that QuantPi, for example, is able to display them. And that eases this conversation, right? So AI governance requires AI testing, and it requires a meeting of the minds. You need to have people from both sides, technology and business, that come in with an open mind and understand that they're not an expert on the other half of the room.
Is that the role you find yourself playing, sort of speaking both of those languages and bringing the two together?
It is very much the role that I find myself playing. It's also actually quite a lot of fun because it means that I always get to learn from somebody else in the room, and I'm constantly learning new things and about new industries.
Brilliant. Okay. I just wanted to think about QuantPi, the future. I'm sure there's things that you can't say. I'm sure there's things that are embargoed or in the works, but can you share anything about what the future holds for the business? Any exciting innovations in the pipeline? Anything you want to sort of get off your chest while you're here?
So I can't go in too deeply, but I can say we have a couple of different things in the lab right now. that focus very much on easing the types of conversations that I just described. And I can also tell you we have a suite of additional dashboards with new metrics, and that is currently in beta. So if you're interested, give us a call, of course, and we're happy to show you the beta summary dashboards. This is also where I mentioned, we summarize automatically. Here's the strengths and weaknesses, places that you as a data scientist should go take action, or you as a business expert, legal or compliance expert, should go and ask questions to your data scientists. Again, it's these actionable insights that can ease this path to production.
Okay, I'll take you up on that. I'd be really interested. So I'll come back
Happy
to
to.
it. Okay. I think that's it from me, Shannon, in terms of questions, specific questions that I had for you. Thanks for talking to us. It's been really genuinely interesting and fascinating. Is there anything else at all that you wanted to mention about QuantPi or the business or AI in general? AI governance?
I'd really encourage folks, even if you're on the data science side, don't think of the business as coming in and asking these questions that you don't have context for. And sometimes data scientists can find it annoying, to be honest. But I'd really like to challenge that, because either you deal with those questions now and you're able to scale a solution, or when you deal with them later, you'll find that the problem has scaled. So better to deal with the questions now, test for them and get on the same page, than have to deal with a fire after you've already gone to production. So this governance component and testing component is really key and critical, and will save you a lot of late nights in the future. It's also why I joined QuantPi.
Brilliant. Okay, top tip there from Shannon. Thank you so much for that. Okay, well, from our perspective, best of luck for the future, and we hope to speak to you again soon, Shannon. Take care. All the best.
Thanks, same to you, Luke.